Welcome back to Mega Man 04. Last time, we fought a very impatient wolf, and I guess stopped a zombie uprising. This time around, we're going to fight a flower that thinks nature is stupid. But you know what isn't stupid? Dr. Vile. Alright, so yeah, in order to play the harder version of the stage, we gotta go to the sunlight version. In the overcast version, everything here grows back a lot slower. Now, we haven't played the stage yet, so you might be wondering, what's the everything? We'll see in a moment. So yeah, we gotta stop plants from growing too good, which either would have been helped or hindered by the sunlight stage. It kinda depends. We'd also need a rain stage to maybe kind of even things out a little bit here. Anyway, though, very cool looking background, I will say. Right, so, last time I mentioned that the EX skills are some of your only sources of elemental damage in this game. Not the only one, I mentioned there's a couple of others. For one, the animal line of Cyber Elves has a couple different elemental add-ons that you can actually have. You actually just get a little shmup option. Your Cyber Elf will actually just actively attack for you, which, in fairness, is a thing they can do in previous games. We just haven't seen that because I don't want to kill Cyber Elves. And I think there's been better things to do with my Cyber Elf slots even in Game 3. And on the other hand, we also have the Z-Knuckle, which can pick up enemies, and, grab their weapons, rather. That's the more important part. And as you might imagine, yes, that's actually the part that affects the elemental thing. Sometimes enemies have different properties that are elemental, so they actually do hit enemy weaknesses. This is the one I use the least because, man, I've said it before, I am a sword buster gal. I like even less the idea of having to just, go through a stage and pick up enemy weapons specifically for the boss. That's a little bit of a pain. I just prefer learning with sword and gun, especially since most weapons do have limited uses. Of course, there are ways to up that slightly, but yeah, I don't like the limited weapons. They are very adamant about you not really having a reliable source of bonus damage to bosses. You kind of have to do all runs as dry runs. You don't really get too many bonuses for them. And as another note, even though hard mode forces you to do the harder version of these stages and bosses, you actually don't get the EX skills from the bosses. So, you also don't get any Cyber Elves either. No Cyber Elf abilities, rather, just one singular Cyber Elf. So yeah, the only way to do damage, or extra damage in hard mode, is Z-Knuckle. I don't hate Z-Knuckle as a weapon, but I kind of don't like what they force onto you with it, so I think most people would probably prefer the shield boomerang method of, yeah, hard mode makes it so you can't charge things fully, but, shield boomerang's still there and can charge from the very beginning, but yeah, not the biggest fan of that. I guess this is also gonna be the downer episode, which is too bad, because I do mostly like the stage, except the weird barriers you have to jump against is their thing. Don't know why that's the case, but, oh, and also, important note, the song title for this one, it's a good song, but the most important thing is, the title is Queen of the Hurt, which is a very fun name. But yeah, that's elemental damage in this game. Again, a bit of a downer, but I had to get through it at some point. And I guess the other downer thing I might as well bring up, since, it's that episode anyway, ranking in this game. I've said before, I'm not really the biggest fan of it. Here's another sub-tank. And the main reason is actually the weather rank, which is technically easy points because it means you have to get through a harder version of the stage, but as long as you do that, that's just free points. It's as free as not using Cyber Elves in the other games, or this game too. It's also easy to not accidentally overdo it on that, but the thing about that is, the Mega Man Zero games are actually very good about their usage of ranking, in that it's sort of just a thing that exists in gameplay, and as I've said before, obviously, some people are bothered by it, and I get it. I've felt the sting of needing to use it, but I don't think it's a terrible addition. Back to that in a moment. Here's Noble Mandrago. Too bad the environment's stupid. You'd think with a line like that, she'd be a vampire boss. She can heal, but it's usually... Oh, I thought she was gonna do it. So yeah, basically this is an attack where she tries to shoot honey at you, and if she does do that, you get swarmed by bees, and also you become slippery for a moment. And also I talked over it, but yes, she did say ara ara. Years before I feel like most of the American audience would, like, know that at all. Like, obviously that's been a line forever, but I feel like we didn't know that until, like, I don't know, the 2010s? I guess I could be wrong, I might have not been paying attention, but either way. She might be able to heal, but her big weakness is that she does tend to waste a lot of time. She can heal multiple times in a row, she can do a quick succession, but then you have a fight like this where she just kind of drilled through the ground, and the honey attack is very easy to dodge. So yeah, it's kind of nothing to deal with. But yeah, here we have the results screen, and again, that's just a free 10 points. But I don't feel like the ranking in Mega Man Zero has ever interfered with the actual gameplay to a certain extent. The results screen is there to guide you into a certain playstyle, which is fairly obvious because it's mostly just a matter of go fast, kill many enemies, which is probably what you'd be thinking to do anyway. But at the same time, yeah, no, don't get hit, kill things, do it all fast. It's very straightforward, but at the same time, like, Zero's a tough game. So they do kind of want to give you an incentive to play like Zero should be going, moving, whatever, whichever word I'm supposed to be using. So that's why the results screen exists. It doesn't particularly exist in universe. Like, obviously it has made it so that bosses use different attacks. Here's Qua's next form. Let's view its effects. Okay, that's one of your elemental damages. That's more health. And that's just a straight-up power-up, so yeah, can't wait for that one. Anyway though, yeah, so it's not like it's not obvious how you're supposed to play Zero, but again, it's a little bit of incentive to drive you into playing well. Because again, Zero is supposed to be cool, and you're supposed to, you know, kind of play like you have enough instinct to just be doing this, as Zero would at his age. It does take a few tries to learn the game, but eventually, like, you're gonna get it, if you practice well enough. Then you too can be just like Zero. Also, God, the overcast weather looks so cool. And yeah, here's one reason I don't like the fact that that whole thing exists. It means you miss cool backgrounds like this. But the other thing is, I don't like the fact that doing the thing that is smart is actually the thing that docks you points. Again, ranking is not a thing that's particularly existed in universe. Some doors open, bosses use different attacks if you have a good rank, but for the most part, nobody's like, oh, Zero, you got a bad rank in the last round. No, that's there to guide you as a player into doing your best. I don't like the fact that you very purposefully have to say, we have the ability to alter the weather, but what if we don't do that to our advantage? And look, I get it in a first playthrough when maybe you would consider getting the EX skills. That might be a thing Zero's considering in-universe, like, let the enemies be a bit powerful so I can learn from their techniques. But on a second playthrough, why would you ever do the hard mode weather when in-universe you are actively altering things supposedly to your advantage? But yeah, that's the reason I don't like the ranking in this game. I don't like the weather rank. I feel like it's just kinda dumb. I feel like it kind of leads you into playing disadvantageously for no in-universe reason. Okay, fine, and yes, I'm really bad at getting good time scores this time around. I'm sorry, I did well last time. I feel like I'm not terrible at this. I think I can complain about it. Anyway, here's the only way a character in this game can get away with calling you shit.